Hey guys, it's Jim Warrior, and I want to go ahead and address, while I have the time, um, the YouTube Pagan Challenge for this week. And this week's YouTube Pagan Challenge, whatever week we're in, is all about mantras and affirmations and chants. And if we have them, of course. And short answer, no. Long answer, yes. um, I don't really do chants or affirmations or anything like that regularly. Um, it's just not my jam. But I have in the past because, I've said before, I think it's really important to sample spiritualities and even non spiritual things. It's just important to sample in life because that's how we find ourselves and that's how we find stuff that we like and what we don't like, which I think is more important. Um, so I did spend a lot of time when I was younger uh, looking into Nichiren Buddhism, which is the Buddhism that was made famous by Tina Turner. Um, and their main chant is NammyohoRengekyo. And that was something I really liked. And I still do like it, but almost everything else associated with it I don't like. But I do like the chant itself, NammyohoRengekyo, because it really does make me feel really super good when I chant it. I think it's traditionally done 3 times if I remember correctly. So it's like NammyohoRengekyo, 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 and it just makes me feel really good. So I do like NammyohoRengekyo. Um, and I guess you could say I do it regularly, sort of like semi-regularly. Um, but it's not like I make time aside to just go chant NammyohoRengekyo like you're supposed to. Um, when I was very much in my gothic phase as a teenager, I had gotten a book that I've praised several times before on this channel called The Mystic Foundation by Christopher Pinzak. I just love that book so much. And I romanticize the book too, though, because it was my first magic book. And every time I go back to it or open it, it's just like I'm overwhelmed with those feelings again. Those positive feelings of like discovering magic. Um, but there's a chant in that book. It's like Ba Bak Benu, which is an Egyptian chant. And I forget what each word means, but one of them is like a phoenix. And Ba, I think, was your spirit. Um, Maybe Bach was the phoenix, I don't know, and then Benu, I don't remember. But I used to do that quite a bit to charge myself to bring energy to me when I was casting a spell. So when I needed to gather power and I didn't have any like tools or herbs or anything else to draw energy from, I would just say Ba Bak Banu, and draw the energy that way because I do like I do like Egyptian magic. Despite not really working with many Egyptian deities, but I do really love the symbolism and their flavor of magic and that energy. Um, oh my gosh, I just completely lost my train of thought. Babak Banu. Um, so I did do that for some years while I was, like I said, an angsty. Well, I had a term for myself actually because there's so many labels within the gothic subculture. There's not just goth. I can make a whole video about that. How there's all kinds of goths, but I lovingly called myself a grunge goth. Um, so when I was very grunge goth, um, Egyptian imagery is very common in traditional gothic culture, and that's something that I just was really drawn to, and so I did say Babak Benu a lot, and I thought that I was the shit for saying it. But so there was that. But as I got to my young, like, well, late teens, early 20s, I got into more of like the new agey side of stuff and like the new thought movement, which is kind of like new age, but not as fluffy. No offense to people who like the term new age. Um, but I think you know what I mean. Um, but there's a movement called New Thought, which on the surface, I guess you could say, is almost Christian looking, because they have churches and everything. It's like an organized religion sort of thing. But I went to a New Thought church for a couple of years, and again, just adding more religious perspectives to my journey and sampling, you know. But always adding on to my pagan base, my pagan foundation. But in the New Thought, they're really big on, at least the New Thought church that I went to, they're really big on affirmations. And they had a ton of them. So I tried that for a while too. And it got to the point where, again, like with some New Age stuff, it's just so positive that it kind of like rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, ugh, I have to have a little darkness in here. I can't completely erase my little goth kid, so I'm not gonna try. But trying did not do well for me to erase him. But you know, I would do affirmations of like, I am happy, and like, I am beautiful, I am wise, blah blah blah. I am open to whatever the universe has to show me. I am open to my highest good. I am open to my highest self. You know, that kind of stuff, that light worker kind of talk. But it didn't stick either, which is okay. Again, that's how you learn. You know, you try things out, and some things stick and some things don't. But along the way, you learn a lot, and you get a lot of opinions. So currently, I don't really have a set mantra or chant or affirmation. But I do have visualizations that I do that I have only come to realize since thinking about making this video. I have always actually had visualizations that I play over and over that help me. And so I guess I have kind of visual chants or visual affirmations, visualizations. So I have the visualization of cleansing myself, which I've talked about in my video about working with elves and elven energy, called the elf light or the elf blight. I do that quite frequently to cleanse my energy, to kind of like flash cleanse, I describe it, to like flash cleanse something very quickly of negative energy or place or space. I also have this kind of bubble energy that I've talked about before too, which I learned from a book that I've also talked about before, called Goth Craft, appropriately, since we were talking about goth stuff in this video, I guess. So in Goth Craft, I think it's Goth Craft, yes, by Raven Digitalis. It's a really good book. He describes all these bubbles of energy that you can put around yourself for different purposes, like a mirror bubble that reflects negative energy back at the person who sent it, a brick wall bubble to just completely isolate yourself when you need to really hibernate or, you know, go into like a cocoon mode. There's like a tree one to help absorb energy and cleanse it. The generic light shield. Diamond shield, which I talked about taking that to a bad place in another video. But so I do have visualizations like that, like the bubble thing that I do a lot, and particularly the elf light one that I do a whole lot. But other than that, I'm not big into actual chants, mantras, and affirmations. But that's all I'm going to say for this week on this topic. But I do recommend the books that I threw out there. If you are into learning a bit more about mantras and stuff like that, I would seriously recommend a book called The Buddha in Your Mirror, which is about Nichiren Buddhism. It's really good. That has to do with NammyohoRengekyo, that chant. But The Buddha in Your Mirror is very, very good. And Gothcraft is very, very good. And the Mystic Foundation, but I'll always praise the Mystic Foundation. But it has several chants in there, so you might want to check those out. But that's it, you guys. Namaste, and Ashe, and peace out, Girl Scouts.